And we are back here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Bit of a mix-up today. My name is Jack Maurice, and with me, who is it?
Gavin Box.
Oh, yeah, baby. Today is very, very, very special. It's not Ryan Cartman. It's not Daniel Schmidt. No, it's Jack Maurice and Gavin Box. We are here today for Game 2 of the weekend series between the Kansas Jayhawks and Dordt Defenders. Yesterday, Dordt had a 9-3 rout of the Jayhawks. What do we know about that? Tell me about it, Gavin.
Yeah, so last night, I think the Jayhawks' performance can really be summed up with one word, and that's turnovers. There was a lot of turnovers, I will admit, and I really think that was what made the Jayhawks lose last night, was we couldn't keep the puck out of our zone, and whenever we did, it just got sent right back over.
Absolutely here. Right now we're about to do starting lineups here and the national anthem, so we will step away for a second as we allow for the intros to commence. And we are back here. They just announced starting lineups. For the Jayhawks, it'll be Rowan Vaughn at the left wing, Matthew Lang at center, and George Bullard at the right wing. And on defense, it'll be Zach Roberts on the left-hand side along with his partner Blake Hearn. And in goal tonight, we will have Ben Olson. For Dordt, their starting lineup, it's Preston Wage on defense with his partner Zach Espenson. At forward, we have Nick Espenson, the older brother of Zach, or younger brother, I might say. Tegan Dolman at the wing, alongside looks to be Ryland Veenstra. In net for Dordt, it is Isaiah Van Noord, a sophomore from Muskegon, Michigan. Van Noord is 8-1-0 with a 2.71 GAA, an 8.98 save percentage, and one shutout. Gavin, yesterday, the goalie was the big part of the story. I mean, Tim Nansen, who started yesterday, is 8-0-0, now 9-0-0 with a 14 GAA and a 9.91 save percentage as the puck is dropped. Roberts around the corner, passes it up to George Bullard. Wraps around again as it moves up. That is Rowan Vaughn. Wraps it around the corner as Jayhawks try to defend. And George Kern comes around, takes it away as it trickles over into the Dordt zone. That is Matthew Lang chasing after it. Jayhawks get it back here, try to center it up as the Dordt comes and takes it back away. Goes in for a rush. Malcolm Johnson with a big shove there as Dordt recovers and sets up for the attack. All alone over in the wing. Misses the net. Dordt tries to center it, and as he is tripped up over in the corner there, referee is not calling. Tough shot for Ben Olsen. Looks like he didn't have full control of it as it almost trickles over. Dordt comes back around the left-hand side. High shot, rebound. Puck all alone. Nobody here to grab it as the Jayhawks come away with that unscathed as they decide to just drop it up into the Dordt end and get in a change here. Dordt circles it back around in their own end as they start to move forward here. Jayhawks, only the D-men alone here. It's a 3-on-2. Shot wide of the net as Dordt regroups here. Wraps around yet again. Looks like that is John Feeney keeping it in. Jayhawks get one more touch as Dordt needs to regroup to avoid the offsides. Jayhawks chase after it. That is Travis Breyer. As the Jayhawks move up the neutral zone, that is number 9, Hudson Huber, a speedster as he goes in, tries to go short side on the goaltender. Jayhawks now finally getting a chance to attack against Dordt today. As they continue on, Jayhawks cough it up as looks like that was Huber again trying to keep it in the zone. Can't seem to find it. As Dordt just absolutely looks like that goes in. Nobody even realized. Just a misplay by Van Noord. Looks like it was Danny Callaghan scoring the goal from the Jayhawks to put them up 1-0 already. Just 17 minutes into the game. What do you see about that, Gavin?
Yeah, I mean, it was the same thing with last night. You know, both of these teams are very quick. They're very physical. And just one mistake like that can cause a goal, which is exactly what we saw the Jayhawks goals in the third period last night.
Jayhawks win the puck here, going up 1-0 already in the game, as it is a high stick and the play will be blown dead. Just already the perfect start for the Jayhawks. If you are, oh man, if you're Coach Pruitt and Coach McConnell, this is exactly the start that you want. For the Jayhawks, it was a bit of a rough start to last game. Not exactly the way you want to start. This is a very, very good Dordt team. You're going to want all of the time that you can get as the Jayhawks try to keep it in the zone again, trying to double their lead in this first period. Matthew Lang takes it back, or Danny Callaghan, I might add, who had the first goal, as it's a 3-on-2 here for the Jayhawks. Dordt moves forward, tries to get a shot off, blocked by a Kansas defender. Dordt tries to regroup here, both defensemen holding at the blue line, as it looks like there is a trip up. No call by the referee there, as Zach Roberts over in the corner, that big frame, keeping it there. It's a block shot. Looks like it bounces off a couple of Jayhawks players as it's centered, and just an easy cleanup by the Jayhawks here. Looking more like they're playing their game. Almost, oh, what a pass. Ooh, rough, but a penalty will be called here. Looking like that'll be on Dordt. That is exactly the start that the Jayhawks want here. What a start. Going on the power play, already being up 1-0. What a great start for the Jayhawks. It's looking like they're really going back to playing their game.
Yeah, I agree. That's another problem the Jayhawks had last night, was staying out of the box. But it looks like we've been picking up and cleaning up our game a little bit from the start of this period so far.
Absolutely. Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt have done an excellent job at making the needed adjustments so far. Already 16-15 left in the period as the Jayhawks are about to go on the power play here. Matthew Lang with the puck, bounces it off a Dordt defender, quite literally, as puck starts rolling down, and that'll be gathered by Ben Olson for Rowan Vaughn. Leading scorer on the Jayhawks right now. Right now we have Hubert, Vaughn, Matthew Lang, and looks like our lone defenseman here will be looking like John Feeney. Dordt gathers it around the back of the net here as it moves up as a successful clear. It's a race for the puck. Ben Olson gathers it and just shoves it away as the Dordt defender is shoved up against the boards as the Jayhawks try to regroup here and find some sort of action, some sort of offense here on this power play. Vaughn moving it up the ice here as it is a bit of an offsides. Jayhawks need to get back over the line. Dordt regroups and just decides to dump it all the way over in the Jayhawk zone, stopped by Ben Olson. Malcolm Johnson with the puck running up through the neutral zone as he's hounded by a Dordt defender. As the Jayhawks regroup here, that is John Feeney. Dordt moves around. Looks like just a little bit of a misplay by the Jayhawks here as the Jayhawks are going to need to regroup. Malcolm Johnson frustrated with how things are going right now for the Jayhawks. And you can't settle. Already having a 1-0 lead against a team like Dordt, it's going to help to get as much as you can as there's a slip up. Jayhawks still managed to keep it into the zone here. And what a shot by Callaghan again. Already has one goal and he is not content whatsoever. What a great sequence by the Jayhawks there.
Yeah, Jack.
As the next line comes in.
Yeah, another thing, the Jayhawks have been keeping the shots relatively close, 5-3. That was a problem that they had last night. They just couldn't seem to get any shots on goal.
As the puck is dropped, and that is Rowan Vaughn going in, and it will go out of bounds once more. What a great sequence for the Jayhawks here already. Again, being up 1-0 against a team like Dordt. Dordt right now is 18-1-0. They are number 10 in the Matcha right now. Battle over the net. Dordt decides to play it out as the penalty is over. There's a 2-on-2. Dordt comes racing in with a shot, and it flies all the way out there. Not much you can do about that. Jayhawks decide to do a line change here, so will Dordt, and they'll go over to the left of goaltender Ben Olson, who's been a great goaltender for the Jayhawks this year. He's made the stops when he needs to, and he has been solid in the net. Dordt comes trying to wrap it around Ben Olson there, trying to find somebody, centers it up, but it bounces off a Jayhawks player as it wraps around the Dordt net. Two Jayhawks to the left and the right. Intercepted. Wow, what a goal! The past two goals here have completely caught me off guard. Just a bit of two very odd goals, one by Callaghan, and it looks like Aiden Siddons is going to get credit for this one. What a start for the Jayhawks, the double goal horn. Just two very odd goals. Looks like it just took an awkward bounce off the Dordt goaltender there.
Yeah, no kidding, Jack. I thought it was going to get sent back to the blue line, but it just snuck right past the bar.
And Van Noord is pulled already. Dordt is going to decide to take a timeout. What a start to this game. This is ridiculous. Van Noord being pulled just 6 minutes, 20 seconds in. Tim Nansen, who was the goaltender yesterday, who got the win for the Jayhawks, is in the net. What a sequence to start this off. This is incredible.
Yeah, this Dordt team, it doesn't quite look like the one we saw last night. You know, the Jayhawks have had a lot of time in Dordt's zone, and I really think they were able to regroup, get some notes from last night, and build towards where we are now. I mean, again, 6 shots to 3.
It's ridiculous. I'm kind of in shock right now. Van Noord just being pulled after two very odd goals. I don't even know if I would consider those to be softies. It just looks like no one really had any idea what it was. Not even the Jayhawks, very akin to the 2010 Stanley Cup final winning goal by Patrick Kane. It's just nobody knows what's going on, and then all of a sudden, referee signals goal as they're going to take the drop out of that timeout by Dordt, just using it already 6 minutes into the first. The Kansas Jayhawks are up 2-0 here in this game against the Dordt defenders. As Dordt circles it back around here, trying to get something, just shooting. Ben Olsen gets control. Dordt player thinking there's a goal, but not even close. Ben Olsen just swallows that one whole. Just what a sequence for the Jayhawks here. The mood has definitely got to be shifted a whole lot more than what it was yesterday. It's a bit hard for that team, but they've regrouped and made all the necessary adjustments to make this a competitive game. Dordt left all alone. Ben Olsen with the just flashing the leather there. What a save by him. He is locked in. 2-0 Jayhawks in the first period, 13:23 left to go. This is, what a game this has turned out to be so far. Not even halfway through the first period, the Jayhawks just letting them know that they are not going to go down easy as Dordt wins the faceoff. The defender, as it's taken away by a Jayhawk. That is John Feeney comes in. Just a bit loose there. Oh, wow. John Feeney, Harry Ives on a 2-on-1. Just absolutely what you want to see from the Jayhawks, but looks like John Feeney just a little rattled from the trip up there by goaltender for Dordt, Tim Nansen. As we move to the faceoff to the right of Nansen, Jayhawks win the faceoff. Dordt just circles it around the back of the net as it's taken back by the Jayhawks. As it's centered pass, nobody there. Dordt moving up here, the speedster. As they circle around the net there, trying to find somebody, some action. Nobody found, it just circles it right back around for the Jayhawks to take control once more. Jayhawks try to move it up here as Harry Ives just whiffs on the puck, but still within play. Malcolm Johnson takes it back up, just moves it right back around the back of the Dordt net, letting the Jayhawks get a nice little line change here. Is a odd pass bounce, goes right to Rowan Vaughn, moves it back up. Jayhawks will get the icing here. That is Malcolm Johnson beating him to it, and we are right back over to the Dordt net, right in front of Tim Nansen. Already just a tough shot. Already Tim Nansen making a save there, but doesn't look like he has much control of it. If he wants to avoid any more odd goals like the first two, he's going to have a little more control over the puck here. Kansas strips it away, looking for a center pass, nobody there. Nansen just shoves it over away as George Bowler comes in. Nansen stops it. Malcolm Johnson loving what he's seeing so far. He's ready to keep the pressure on him. .12:07 left in the first here. Kansas over to the left side of Nansen. Matthew Lang taking the face-off win as it's the Dordt player just completely loses the puck as it's recovered, and just a great interception, stands tall. That is Luke Nessa. Dordt just misplaced the puck here. Easy little touch for Rowan Vaughn as he moves up. Rowan Vaughn to the left side just tries to go in, and it looks like Matthew Lang just crashes into the net, and there's some extracurriculars going on as Lang is still lying behind the net. Referee stops play.
Yeah, Jack, last night this was one physical game. There was tussles, big hits, everything you can really see out of a hockey game, and it looks like it's going to be the exact same today.
Absolutely, and again, Rowan Vaughn just not taking any of that from the Dordt player there. Looks like that is number 9, Ruben Horneman, as Vaughn and Horneman will both go to the penalty box. Twos are being put on the board. It'll be 4-on-4 for 2 minutes here. Jayhawks regrouping here over in the center. Referees making sure that the net is up to standards, staying on there. Everybody's going to regroup here. Looks like we're still going to have 5-on-5. matching penalties. We keep going here. Lined up, we have George Bullard, John Feeney, and Hudson Huber. What a lineup here. And then on, oh, it looks like it's going to be a power play? Okay, a bit of a weird little sequence here. 5-on-4, another, or power play. I have no idea. Scorebug people are not quite updating that. Jayhawks take it around here. That is Hudson Huber moving around. Dordt takes it right back. It's a 2-on-4, trying to make something out of nothing here as Luke Nexa takes it back up over into the neutral zone. It's Nessa and Feeney moving up the ice here. Nessa just taking it up, finding the open man. Whoa, what a shot by Huber as he goes and tries to go top right corner. It's the Jayhawks getting muscled off the puck. Huber back with the puck. That moves right back to Lang. Lang to Hearn. Nessa skating around, might I say. Huber loses the puck behind the bench as he tries to move it back up to Lang, but Dordt just shoves him up against the board. Dordt in a block by Lang. He keeps it going. Oh, just the center ice pass. Can't find anything as Dordt gets a much-needed break here and a much-needed change. Jayhawks back with it behind Ben Olsen, trying to get another rush going. Malcolm Johnson with the puck. Moves up. Kenny Callaghan can't seem to find the puck. Scrum in front of the boards, in front of the bench there. Keeps it around behind the Dordt net. That is Danny Callaghan with the puck. Moves to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson tries to move up. Whiffs on the puck there. Callaghan again with the puck, trying to move it around to Aiden Siddons. Siddons moving on the board and a shove by the Dordt player. Moves up. Blake Hearn right back where we were at before. Siddons to Hearn. Nobody quite sure where the puck was, and it moves right back down the ice to Ben Olsen. Malcolm Johnson will take the puck as he's hounded by a Dordt player as it's stripped away from him, but he is no match for the body of Johnson here. Hearn to Siddons. Siddons dangles around the players. He's got a Dordt player right on his tail. A bit of a scrum there as he's almost tripped up as it stays into the offensive zone. Dangles around. It makes the pass all the way to Hearn and just right past the goaltender there. Right back to Callaghan. Center ice pass, and it trips up right over to the stick of Malcolm Johnson. What a power play by the Jayhawks here. Still getting some good chances, but can't quite seem to capitalize it. It's right back to Aiden Siddons. Sid moves up through the neutral zone into the Dordt end. The puck is stripped away once more, and it'll be a 3-on-4 for Dordt. But it is stripped right back away from the puck of Hexadakis, it looks like. Right behind Ben Olsen, Huber. Huber into the corner of the Jayhawk zone, right back to Aiden Siddons. Siddons, Lang, and Ibes moving up here for the Jayhawks, right behind the Dordt net. Dordt player can't decide what to do. Trickles right past. Almost an odd man rush there. Caught the Jayhawks off guard. Jayhawks move it right back down to the Dordt end here. It has just been end-to-end hockey this entire game, as Dordt will take a second to calm down and watch the puck there. Huber tries to move it up to the end here, and it will finally be an icing here on the Jayhawks. So we'll head right back in right behind the net of Ben Olsen. Gavin, what have you liked so far from the Jayhawks, other than that quick 2-0 lead that the Jayhawks have here? What are you liking from them tonight?
Of course, that's what I like the most to see. But also the Jayhawks, again, they have been making sure to have enough time in the Dordt zone. And also they've been connecting on their passes, being able to set up and get the goals that we want and the shots.
Well said. Just quick crash behind the net as Dordt trying to cycle through here, but there's scrum in the corner. Dordt comes away with it as he's hounded, and there's just two quick shots there to bounce in front of Ben Olsen's net. Trying to clear the puck, but can't seem to get away with it. There's a rocket right to the net of Olsen, bounces off somebody's leg there as it is recovered by Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn Bullard stripped away by another Dordt player. 3-on-3 and right over the net of Ben Olsen. Jayhawks recover the puck here as they move up. Dordt moves back into their own end, getting ready for another rush. Number 2 on Dordt's just speeding forward, drop pass right back to Dordt. And just a well-timed interception from, it looks like, the captain, Brett Siddons. Vaughn, goal. Oh, just almost 5-hole through him. What a sequence from the Jayhawks here. Looked like that was a bit of a nothing offensive rush, but just odd man tries to go in 5-hole, but what can you do? That's Tim Nansen in the net there. He's got some incredible stats. These aren't quite updated, but Tim Nansen is 9-0-0 as a starter with an 0.14 GAA and a 9.91 save percentage. That is ridiculous. He's been excellent for Dordt, and I could see why Coach Morgan decided to swap out there. It's just let him be back in the game. He's been incredibly dominant against the Jayhawks, especially after yesterday's game.
Yeah, before last night, he only has let in 1 goal over his 8-game season. Of course, not updated with last night's stats, but those are some crazy numbers to put up for a goalie this far into the season.
Absolutely. Dordt and Kansas battling for it. That's Ibes. Just try to go around, just a little wraparound, but Hansen stands tall. Hearn and Dordt battling for it, but Hearn gets there first. Passes it up to Aiden Siddons, but odd bounce into the corner of the Dordt end there as it wraps right back around to the left-hand side of Hansen. Callaghan strips it right back away to shot. Can't catch the rebound. Oh, right back to Callaghan. Dangles it forward, passes it right around the net. As it wraps back around to the stick of Malcolm Johnson, who ends up passing it right back to the Dordt defender as they move on to a 2-on-2. Dordt moves around, tries to sneakily go through it and bounced off a stick. Number 9 corrals it on Dordt as they're going to slow it down the pace a little bit here. They are a well-oiled machine as a shot goes right off the post of Ben Olsen. Jayhawks take it back. It is Aiden Siddons and Danny Callaghan. Aiden Siddons just getting hounded and just beat. Oh, right past Hansen. What a shot. But Aiden Siddons just getting battered and bruised by the Dordt players, but nothing can stop him off the puck there. 5 minutes left in the first period. I'm Jack Maurice with Gavin Box here at Advent Health Sports Park. George Bullard moves up. Odd pass for Hubert there as it moves up. It's a 3-on-4 for the Jayhawks. Dordt takes away the puck, scoots back up. Dordt not quite seeing the puck as he moves around, and just almost a big hit there by Huber as Rowan Vaughn attempts to get the puck back, but Dordt still containing the puck. Tries a nifty move there, offsides. Looks like Matthew Lang knew more about the offsides than the officials did there. He was quicker than him. He had that hand up. What a great start for the Jayhawks here. 4:38 left in the period, up 2-0 against 18-1 Dordt, number 10. Just an incredible game from them so far. Ben Olsen just decides to take that soft puck and hold on to it for a little while longer. Shots are 10-7 favoring Kansas here, but Ben Olsen has stopped all 7. He has been excellent so far. I wouldn't say he's had any crazy shots that he's had to face yet, but that's exactly what you want from your goalie. Stand tall on those shots. Don't let any soft ones in, and be that force that you need in the back of the net. Dordt on the blue line here. Just an odd tip there as Dordt scores to make it 2-1.
Yeah, Jack, that one really snuck right past in. There's a screen, not much the goalie can really do there.
No, absolutely not. It looks like there's a screen of players and then just an odd little stick. All it took was one weird bounce. Goes right over the glove hand of Ben Olsen. Just a tough goal there, but not much you could really do about that one. Jayhawks still lead by 1 as we return for the center face-off with 4:29 left in the game here. Jayhawks recover it back after that face-off win. John Feeney can't seem to get a hold of it as another offsides by Dordt there. And we're going to head right back to the blue line. Jayhawks just need to know to keep playing their game. They've caught Dordt goalie Tim Hansen out of position a little bit a couple of times. You can already kind of tell the way that they're trying to move here as the Jayhawks, when the face-off, decide to go back into their own end here. That is Captain Brett Siddons. Zach Roberts with the C tonight. Almost centering pass there. Looking to do, recovered by Hearn. Bounces off a Dordt defender. Just a shot from Harry Ives. Just looking to get something on the net here. Looks like he had a bit of an angle, tried to choose, but man, just Tim Nansen just standing tall for Dordt tonight. Jayhawks win the face-off. Dordt moves it right back around their net. Brett Siddons just chasing after it. John Feeney, for that matter. Just a great play at the blue line by Zach Roberts. Robo, as other commentator Ryan Cartman likes to call him. As a 3-on-2 for Dordt. Just sneaking it right past the Kansas defender. Whole Dordt bench standing up thinking that was going in, as Dordt decides to keep moving around here. That's a good stick poke by John Feeney. Dordt still with possession of the puck. Tries to shoot it right past the shoulder of Ben Olsen, but it'll be an icing regardless for the Kansas Jayhawks, and we will go right back in front of Ben Olsen at the net. Dordt putting more pressure on them, on the Jayhawks here, trying to slow it down a little bit more in front of the net of Ben Olsen. Not much you can really do about that. Kansas just needs to stay patient and try to see the plays all the way through. Dordt dangles around the net. There's a spinorama, tries to sneak it past Ben Olsen as he's sprawled on the ground, but nothing going past him here. Feeney tries to move it around in a centering shot. Saved by Ben Olsen. Dordt gets again one more time, just over the head of Ben Olsen once more as the Jayhawks move up the ice here, and they'll just dump it into the Dordt zone. Dordt moving it up here. Callaghan trying to put the pressure on him. Alongside is Aiden Siddons, as he is just shoved off there. As Dordt recovers from the neutral zone, brings it back into their zone. Hudson Huber tries to move in here, just like lets the puck go all the way through. Odd man rush for Dordt there. Jayhawks are going to go right back to the neutral zone as it's picked back up by Dordt. Off-wall bounce pass as Dordt tries to save some time here to try and get all of their players in there to get as much people as they can. Jayhawks move up the ice as it's taken again by the defenders. But Luke Ness is right there to save the day. He saves some time, dumps it right back into the Dordt zone. Dordt's waiting behind the net. As they move it up, bounces off the leg of the Dordt player there. Malcolm Johnson throwing the body. Just a lot of floating around here near the end of the first period. These two teams have played very tough, very physical games. I'm sure they are going to very much need this intermission. Aiden Siddons trying to take away the puck here, but it'll move right behind the net of Ben Olsen as Malcolm Johnson picks back up the puck. Just a great pass by Malcolm Johnson into the center zone here. Get the Jayhawks another rush. Chaney Callaghan blocked by one of the Dordt players, and it'll be a 2-on-2. Huber and Zadakis, I believe, are moving over in the back there as there's a battle in the corner. Jayhawks pick it right back up here. It is Huber and Siddons. Aiden Siddons. It's Huber who takes a shot. Goes wide past the net here. Aiden Siddons picks up the puck, moves it right back around, bounced off of it looks like Blake Hearn. As Dordt recovers the puck here, starts moving in through the neutral zone. 47 seconds left in the end of the first here as Kansas and Dordt just battle it along here as we get another rush here. It is Matthew Lang and George Bullard as it moves right back into the Dordt zone. Dordt moves it up through the neutral zone. Just another, ooh, what a shot. Oh, and it's in the back of the net. 24 seconds left in the period, and Dordt has tied it. Just a rough defensive effort from Kansas there, not really doing too much to stop the Dordt players. I understand they may be a bit gassed, but I'm sure Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt will have lots to say about that goal for the Dordt defenders. Two apiece here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Jayhawks are now tied after leading 2-0 4 minutes into the first as Dordt moves around here. One more shot, almost above the shoulder of Ben Olson. Jayhawks have 10 seconds left on the board. One more opportunity as they'll dump it around the back of the Dordt net here. One more shot and a little bit of a whiff. And the two teams will just let this one roll out here. Two apiece here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. Shots are 10-15 now, favoring Dordt. Dordt has played like a completely different team since the entrance of goalie Tim Nansen for the defenders.
Yeah, but Jack, I wouldn't let these two goals bring the Jayhawks down. They've shown a lot of improvement from last night. You know, throughout the period, we haven't spent that much time in the Jayhawks zone. You know, it's been a lot in the neutral ice. That's where this game has been played, a lot in the neutral ice. And we've been cutting off their lines. We've been intercepting their pucks, turning them over, bringing them over to their zone. I think the Jayhawks, they've really set a different tone for this game. They've shown that they are not the same Jayhawks that Dordt played last night. Again, the scoreboard's tied. You know, I think the Jayhawks know, okay, you know, we need to keep up the pace that we've set. We need to get back out there, fresh skates on the ice, and really show them that we are not the same Jayhawks that they played last night, Jack.
Well said. As we will go into the intermission here, I am Jack Boris with Gavin Box. We will be back in a couple. We are back here at Alvin Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I am Jack Maurice, and with me is Gavin Box here for the second period of Kansas versus Dordt. This game started off with pure insanity as Kansas took a 2-0 lead just 4 minutes into the game, but Dordt comes crawling all the way back with a late first period goal to tie it up at 2 apiece. Kansas is going to be looking to take back that lead and take an advantage over Dordt here. Gavin, what do you think is the key for Kansas here after that first period?
I think that the key is, again, try to cut off their passes in their zone, get some turnovers. That's what the Jayhawks have really been able to do really good this game. And that's led to, I think, both of our goals, just quick surprise goals. And I think we need to keep up that same speed, that same mentality, the same momentum that we built upon on the first period.
Absolutely. As the puck is dropped, the Jayhawks are moving, and I now have a bottle of water. Dordt moves it back around into their end as the Jayhawks try to take it back, but Dordt comes out with it into the neutral zone. Dordt moving up quickly as the pass is blocked by Zach Roberts. Battle over in the corner as Dordt takes it back, trying to find a passing lane as it is stick poked by Blake Hearn. Jayhawks still trying to move it back up here as Roberts fanned on the pass to move it out as it goes right into the chest of Rowan Vaughn as it is now Bullard. Just shoots it right past the goal as Dordt takes it right back up into the neutral zone here. A little dipsy-do behind the back pass as Dordt just tries to buy some time as they let their guys get a line change in as they dump it right back into the Jayhawk zone. Nessa with it. Gets caught up there in the legs of Rowan Vaughn as it crosses right over into the blue line. Dordt moves it back up through into the Kansas zone. Dordt takes it forward, shot, saved by Ben Olsen. Jayhawks just getting the puck out of here, trying to get something as they move back into the neutral zone, but have to wait as delayed offsides. Dordt just handles the puck in their own end here, trying to move it forward as they make it through the neutral zone as they just sling it around the neck. Ben Olsen unable to get a stick on it, fanned by Harry Ives. Dordt tries to get a shot, and what a poke stick from John Feeney. Wraps right back around, and what a good save for Dordt to keep it in. But Jayhawks just cough it back up into the neutral zone here. Just a rough start to the period. It's just lazy passes won't really give you much in terms of offense. Aiden Siddons moves it forward, tries to corral it into his own stick there, but just moves it right past. Jayhawks, the shot blocked. Still Siddons. What a goal! Aiden Siddons just rockets it into the top of the net, and the Jayhawks lead once more, 3-2. What a goal.
Yeah, Jack, it reminded me a lot of Dort's second goal, setting up a good screen right from the blue line. Goalie can't really see it coming.
No, absolutely not.
It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't.
Siddons just doing a great job of getting that second chance opportunity. Goes and just all Siddons. It's the Siddons show once more. As the Jayhawks just move it right back up to start it off, back into the Dordt zone. Dordt moves it past the blue line. Jayhawks need to regroup. Passes it back and forth into their own end. Dordt just corrals it and tries to move it back up. Delayed offsides requires them to just dump it in and regroup. Taken back by the Jayhawks. That is Hudson Huber. Nobody there at the blue line, but center ice. Danny Callaghan tries to go in on a fancy little move. Nothing getting through right there. Moves it back around. Ooh, almost a great hit by Danny Callaghan there. just misses him there, just goes right into the boards. Dordt dumps it into the Jayhawks end to get a line change. Jayhawks are going to regroup. Just a great pass there, but given right back over to Dordt. Just fanning on all of the stick checks here as a massive hit by, it looks like, Matthew Lang from a Dordt player into the boards there. Nessa wraps it around, hits one of the Jayhawk players, and Dordt recovers and just all the way through, and goalie Ben Olsen just decides to keep the puck to himself, and it'll go right to a goalie face-off. Like you were saying earlier, Gavin, a big issue is going to be the turnovers. Just constantly, Jayhawks are trying to make the effort into some offensive potential, but it just ends up handing the puck right back to Dordt.
I agree, Jack. But again, the Jayhawks, they've done a lot better with, connecting with their passes, making those smart passes, not just giving the puck away to Dordt.
Jayhawks are moving it up here as it goes right around the net as George Bullard takes a spill into the boards, as it is now a Dordt rush. Stick of Blake Hearn blocks the potential pass as Zach Roberts comes around to give him support. Dordt cycles it through. Shot. Screen through a bunch of Kansas players here. Nothing getting through. Bounces off. Dordt still trying to regroup and cycle through. Dordt goes in wide past the net. Crosses the blue line, so Dordt will have to regroup as it goes right back. What a hard pass as it's taken right back from the Jayhawks. Dordt can't seem to corral it. Matthew Lang trying to intercept the pass here as it's taken right back by the Dordt players. Battle in front of the net just goes wide off here. Right back to the Dordt blue line, who just rocks it right past the net of Ben Olsen. Matthew Lang takes control of it once more. Just a great defensive forward there. You could do everything that you want, as it'll be a icing on Kansas, and we'll go right back to the net of Ben Olsen. Jayhawks need to do a whole lot better at trying to find some offensive potential here. It feels like they're forcing a lot rather than trying to play their game. Something that's not really going to work against this Dordt defense here. As it cycles around the back of the net of Ben Olsen. Dordt takes control of it again. Takes the blue line shot. Just a couple of bounces off of some players in front of the net. Just slows it down enough where Ben Olsen can get a glove on it. And Jayhawks will do a line change real quick. Bowerly taking the face off here as Jayhawks are going to come away with it. That is Harry Ives. Ives moving in, just shoots it right around the net there for John Feeney. Hits in front of the net as Dordt comes away with it on defense. That's Luke Nessa and Malcolm Johnson. Johnson tries to, whoa, and what a stick poke there by Johnson. And another shot as Ben Olsen just sticks it away. Dordt comes away with it once more as Luke Nessa comes back and try to control the puck. Just Feeney as Dordt comes right back in a collision of some players there as John Feeney comes up and Dordt will just shoot it back around here. Both teams really not getting much going in terms of offense, just rush on rush and all met with defenders here. Rocks it right past, hits the glass. What a shot there. Dordt just moving it back in behind the net of Ben Olsen once more as it's met by a Dordt player and intercepted there by Luke Nessa. Dordt decides to rocket it once more. How many times have we heard that? Kansas coughs it up there as it's moved forward right into the hands of the Dordt centerman there. Shoots, oh, can't control it. No goal. Ben Olsen is not even in his net. And what a sequence there by the Jayhawks defense. How can you not even get anything out of that if you're Dordt? Just some miscommunications there, and wow, that was a bit odd.
Yeah, what a save from Ben Olsen, diving on that puck and smothering it, That was a stressful one, I will admit.
That's
but
tough. It looks
we got it done.
Looks like Ben Olsen didn't quite know where it was. I think he thought it went in like once or twice. You could tell by his body language he was a bit disappointed, but hey, nothing goes through. It's still 3-2 Jayhawks.
He got the job done.
Moving forward here, right into the hands. There's been a lot of hand catches here. It's looking a little more like American football than hockey here, as it just goes around. That'll be an icing on the Jayhawks as one of the Dordt players takes a slip right into the boards. We'll head right back to the net of Ben Olsen, back into the Jayhawks D zone. Shots are 12-18 favoring Dordt. They have really stepped it up a notch after the Jayhawks were just shelling the goaltenders there. Dordt has decided to come stomping back and just shelling Ben Olsen right back. Face off won by Dordt. Shoots it around. Referee almost loses an edge there. Dordt catches it right back and is just corralling the puck there. And that'll be a easy penalty to call. Looks like that'll be on the Jayhawks here. Looks like that'll be looks like that'll be Travis Breyer heading to the box. Just a tough little trip up there in the corner. Breyer trying to get the puck back, but just positioned his stick the wrong way, and that'll bring the man down. Jayhawks going on the penalty kill for 2 minutes here as Dordt takes control back of it. Shoots it around the net as it met by Zach Roberts, and he just a great clear by Zach Roberts to get all the way back into the Dordt zone. Waste some more time as he's met by Rowan Vaughn. Dordt just trying to move it up here. Blocked by Vaughn. Jayhawks are in the O zone now. What a shot by Vaughn to the right of Anson there. Dordt recovers, moves into the zone. John Feeney almost catching a penalty there, but Dordt setting up the blue line. Takes a shot, moves to the right of Olsen. Dordt still waiting, trying to find their shot. To the right, back to the blue line. Takes a shot, scores. Saw that shot all the way through.
Again, Jack, it's the same thing. Setting up a good screen and then taking a shot from the blue line. The goalie can't really see it coming. That's what we've seen 3 out of the 6 goals that we've had so far. I mean, that's kind of been the story of the game.
Absolutely. Goal by Zach Espenson for Dordt defenders. He increases its total to 5 power play goals, leading his team here. He is a power play demon. Kansas moves it right back up here as Malcolm Johnson swings around the net here of Dordt. Dordt taking back control of it as they move the puck up here into the neutral zone. Kansas recovers a bit. Moves right past the stick of Nessa into the stick of Ben Olsen as it's recovered by Dordt. So they go in for a shot blocked by Olsen as it'll cross the blue line, requiring Dordt to come right back and regroup. Dordt recovers it right back to Johnson. Recovered by John Feeney. And right back into the neutral zone into the stick of Luke Nessa. Will be offsides. The game is tied at 3 apiece here in the second period. Shots are 13-20 favoring Dordt as we head right back to the net of Ben Olsen. It feels like this whole period we've had lots and lots of face-offs in front of Ben Olsen, not really giving him a break. There's 10:16 left in the period here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I'm Jack Maurice here with Gavin Box as it moves across the neutral zone here to the left of Ben Olsen. Luke Nessa picks up the puck, decides to dump it here to the neutral zone, bounces right off of a Dordt defender as they decide to regroup. Tipped into the neutral zone, so there will be no icing on that as Malcolm Johnson goes to recover it. Met by two Dordt defenders. As a bit of a slip there by Luke Nessa, Bullard takes the puck. Taken right back, and what a save there by Ben Olsen. He just saw that one all the way through, gets his glove hand up. That's exactly what you want in the back, in your net there. It's a bit of a rough start to this period, just a hard goal to give up for Ben Olsen, who's been stellar. A couple of those goals have just been a bit tough on him. Can't really harm him much for those as the puck is dropped. Dordt takes it right back to the defender. Ooh, just no call on that. Matthew Lang wanted something there. Hit the top of his head as he trips down. Dordt takes it around here, waiting over to the right-hand side. Just throws something on the net, nobody there. Met by another Dordt player as Harry Ives moves around. Nothing there. George Bullard in front of the net as Dordt takes it around once more. Right back to the blue line. Shot, just a center shot there by Dordt as it's right back. Puck slows down, but nothing in there. Back to the blue line for Dordt. As he moves it back up to try and get a bit of a deflection there. Nothing there. Dordt still moves it around, just being relentlessly attacked as he gets the arm down, and there's a bit of a tumble there by a Dordt and Kansas player. Trying to go for the hit, but nobody there. Just skating right past the Kansas defender as George Bullard tries to shove him off the puck, and Dordt tries to get it around to a wraparound, but nothing there. Matthew Lang with the puck. Tries to move it forward, just a bit of a miss there. Bullard just clearing the puck there right back to the Dordt defender in the neutral zone. Offside, so needs a bit of second. A bit of a home run pass there. So that's Matthew Lang. Dangles through. Nothing there. Blocked. Dordt moving it through the neutral zone once more. That's number 14 on Dordt. Tries to shoot it through at an odd angle, but can't get past him. Dordt still has control as Blake Hearn just takes it up and dumps it down there. Henson will touch it, and Dordt takes it right back. Dordt moving through the neutral zone here. Zach Roberts takes it through and just gives it right back to Dordt, which bounces off a couple of players and a couple of whiffs there. Adenson gets it up, and Dordt with a shot right above the head of Ben Olsen. Dordt back at the blue line. Dordt with another shot, and Ben Olsen just sees it all the way through. What a save by him. There's been a couple of those opportunities where Dordt just takes it at the blue line, throws up a shot. Some of them going a bit high. Some of them looking like they could just go past Ben Olsen's shoulder at any minute. But Ben Olsen sees that one all the way through, lifts his glove hand up, says, "That is mine," takes it right back down, and we're here for another face-off. Puck is dropped as Kansas takes it right back over the blue line. That is Harry Ives. Ives takes it in, controls it, gets it back into the Dordt zone as Dordt will chase after it, but that is John Feeney here. Ives and Feeney battling for the puck as Dordt comes right back around here for another rush. Trying to be attacked by some of the Kansas players, and what a stick poke by Blake Hearn. Another one, what a great defensive play by him as it's blocked again by a Kansas defender. That is number 14 as we keep moving up here. Blake Hearn moving it up here, playing the forward. Tries to shove off the Dordt player. Dordt not having much control over it. Dordt moves on through. It's a 2-on-1 for Kansas as Kansas just gets the puck right away from him. Ives with just a center pass and a great touch by John Feeney to get that puck moving up and not have any more odd bounces. What a hit there by Bowerly. Ooh, looks like it almost went into the net there, but just goes right past him. Dordt regrouping into their own zone. And what a great stick by, looks like Luke Nessa there. It's a shot blocked by a Dordt player as they move on through. Dordt gives it right back. It looks like it could have been a good shot, and it's an odd man rush here. But a bit of an odd angle, so Dordt will have to regroup. Met in the corner by Luke Nessa and Matthew Lang. Battling in the corner there. Nothing moving out. Lang pins him against the wall once more. Nessa again. And it finally gets out, met by Rowan Vaughn and George Bullard. Bullard just decides to dump it on through. A big hit by Dordt there, sending Vaughn, or Bullard it looked like, back into the Kansas bench. Malcolm Johnson trying to get the puck, but can't seem to control it. Travis Breyer. Ooh, and Johnson with a big hit in return. Lang looking like that was a bit of a tough call. Bullard keeps on through. And just an easy save for Ben Olsen there. What a sequence. Shots are 13-23, 10 more for Dordt, as it is 3-3 with 4:54 to go here in the second period. Dordt moves it on through. Back to center ice with a shot into the chest of Ben Olsen. Gavin, what does Kansas need to do differently here to start getting some more ozone opportunities? It looks like Kansas's shot counter hasn't moved quite that much this period.
Yeah, Jack, I'd say, again, try to cut off the lines in the defensive zone, take some, get some turnovers, head over to Dordt's zone. There hasn't been that much time by the Jayhawks in Dordt's zone. And so, of course, that leads less shots, less goals. And I think that's really what the Jayhawks are struggling with, is getting that offensive momentum that they really need to get another goal.
Absolutely here, as it looks like Jayhawks will move it through. Back on to Danny Callaghan. Callaghan decides to dump it into the Dordt net there. Shoves off a player. With just Aiden Siddons just centered there, ready for the shot. Callaghan moves back as Dordt decides to move it on forward. Dordt tries to move it through, and that'll be met by Travis Breyer. This is partner Daniel Ignachev. Dordt tries to shoot it on through, can't control it. Tries to get through and just right past the net there. As Dordt fans not too happy with that one. Dordt moves it on through. As Kansas moves it on. Nothing there. Aiden Siddons chasing the puck. Travis Breyer with what a hit there. Center front shot. Blake Hearn goes through. What a save by Ben Olsen. His left leg is on fire. Unbelievable save there. He just stretches that left leg. Nothing there. What a sequence.
Yeah, another diving goal by Ben Olsen. I mean, he has made some excellent saves tonight. The second period, he's had to make a lot of these necessary saves, and that's just another example of Ben Olsen. I mean, excellent save there.
And right back to him. Ben Olsen, just what a sequence. Blake Hearn having to defend all by himself, trying to save as much as he can, but the Dordt player on Olsen's left-hand side as he just stretches that leg. Kansas player breaks his stick. Looks like it's Harry Ives, as we'll get another stoppage in play here as he heads to the bench for Rowan Vaughn. Rowan Vaughn coming back into the game as we get a line change to the Jayhawks as Lang, Bullard, and Vaughn head out for the offense, as it'll be Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn still on defense here with 3:20 left in the second period. Dordt wraps it around, crowd by Roberts. On to Vaughn, can't quite get control of the puck. So it bounces past Dordt once more. Hearn gets it into the center ice here as Kansas takes it right back. Vaughn just going in, muscles him off the puck, goes for a shot. Ooh, just a bit of a dipsy-do tries to get the backhand. Kansas defender drops down. That was Zach Roberts. As Dordt comes on here, it's a 3-on-2, but Kansas comes right back. George Bullard, and that looks like a bit of a crashed net there. Ben Olson goes down as what became a 3-on-3. Just a lot of attacking there by Dordt. Goes in, crashes the net. Ben Olson goes down. Him not looking too happy about that, looking for something to be called against Dordt.
Yeah, these two teams, they've been pretty disciplined throughout the game. Yes, the Jayhawks did get that power play goal against them, but for the most part, the Jayhawks have had a good job staying out of the box, which I think is another problem that they had to build upon from last night.
Absolutely, and as Gavin and I were on our way here, that was one of the things that we were talking about, was staying disciplined, and how last game that wasn't quite the case here. Jayhawks and Dordt battling behind the net as Malcolm Johnson takes it with the backhand right up to Harry Ives. Ives gets it to Feeney as Feeney chases the puck. Gets it on there, tries to get a shot. Oh, not quite controlled as it launches right back through center ice, and that'll be an icing on Dordt, which hasn't really happened today. It looks like Dort's been pretty good about not just dumping the puck and giving the Jayhawks more offensive opportunities there, but puck almost just sliding right past the net of Nansen there, but nothing there. Dordt forced to just chuck it down the ice and try to regroup there with 2:18 left in the second as Dordt wins the faceoff and just chucks it into the neutral zone. That's gathered by Luke Nessa. Goes back into the Dordt zone. Chased by Feeney and Ives. Feeney with the stick up a little bit. Bit of a dangerous play. As there's a stoppage. Didn't quite gather what that stoppage was for, but we are heading right back in front of the Dordt net, right in front of the net of Tim Nansen. Kansas face-off win. Nessa just takes it through and just rockets it at the net.
Yeah, Jack, I think these whistle stoppages in Dordt's zone, I think it gives us the perfect opportunity for the Jayhawks to set up the passing lanes, get some shots in, and hopefully get some goals. I think this is what the Jayhawks need at this time.
Absolutely, and you can see Malcolm Johnson waiting at the blue line there. He had an excellent one-timer during the Purdue series, and I'm sure he's waiting for another chance like that to be able to just rocket that one towards the net. Dordt crowds the puck once more and just shoots it back to center ice, and that's recovered by Luke Nessa. Ives just with a little hit there as Dordt crowds it back into behind their own net. Back into the neutral zone. Luke Nessa just shoving it forward. Dordt regrouping here, but he is just manhandled by Matthew Lang. Or Danny Callaghan, my apologies. Kansas with just trying to do a home run pass, which just an odd shot there by Dordt. Looks like both teams are ready to get off the ice here. Just a hard hit there. You could hear that one from where we were standing on Aiden Siddons. As the puck goes behind the net, that's corralled by Malcolm Johnson. Johnson just stands behind the net as Danny Callaghan is going to get one last play here in the first period as it goes up high. It's like a bit of a scuffle in front of the net there. Couldn't quite tell what they were getting a bit frustrated over. Lots of Dordt players going over to check out what was happening. Kansas players going out here. We have the line of Vaughn, Lang, and Bullard going out. This is exactly who you want. As Dordt recovers here, goes into the neutral zone. What a hip check by Breyer there. Some old school hockey as his partner is mashed into the boards. Vaughn loses the puck. Oh, and he was right there net front to try and get the tip in, but couldn't quite locate the puck. Dordt tries again. Shot blocked by George Bullard, and Bullard tries to get it out there and recovered by Dordt. Kansas tries once more. Recovered again by Dordt. Tries a shot, blocked by Breyer. Goes over to the net. Ooh, a missed drop pass from Vaughn there as it's back to Dordt. Dordt just fans on the puck that looked like a surefire goal. And it's Rowan Vaughn and George Bullard. Vaughn just going up through here. It looks like the Dordt player tripped on the puck as it heads back, and that'll end the period for us here. Tied 3-3 here going into the third at Avon Health Sports Park. I am Jack Maurice here with Gavin Boxick. Gavin, anything else you want to talk about before we go into the period here? What does Kansas need to do if they want to come out of this game with a win?
Again, like I've said time and time again throughout this period, the Jayhawks need to get more time in Dordt's zone. You know, when there's been a lot of time that the Jayhawks have spent in their own zone, what they really need to do, cut off Dordt's passing lanes, cut off their shooting lanes, turn those over, head down to Dordt's zone. I think that's really the main takeaway from this period, you know. That will lead to more shots from the Jayhawks. More shots from the Jayhawks, more opportunities for goals. I think that's really as much as you can say from this period. You know, it's tied 3-3. This is where the Jayhawks need to really kick it in, you know, take it home.
Bit of a sloppy period from the Jayhawks here as what was once a 2-0 game has now become 3-3. Going into the third period, once again, I'm Jack Maurice with Gavin Box. We'll see you in 10. And we are back for the third period here at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I am Jack Maurice. Alongside me is Gavin Box. Jayhawks and Dordt defenders tied 3 apiece. Shots are 15-29 Dordt as the puck's about to drop here. Gavin, what do you think the Jayhawks need to do to take back the lead?
One word. What they need more shots. They have not gotten that many shots throughout this entire game. Oh, we got a big scruffle.
Just what a sequence there. I think the video feed speaks for itself.
Yeah.
One of the Dordt players just gets absolutely slammed to the Kansas bench, and a crowd gathers around and has some choice words for him. And a tripping penalty is called here on Kansas. Looks more like it was just a bit of a check there that went a bit awry, but Dordt is about to go on to the power play here, which is going to be extremely lethal. Kansas's penalty kill has been pretty excellent this game. It's been pretty excellent this year in general. A lot of times it feels like that Kansas isn't even on the penalty kill, but Dordt is a very dangerous team. Their offense has been electric tonight, and watch out for their defenseman. Zach Espenson, who already has a goal tonight on the power play, is just an elite quarterback, and he's going to be able to get the puck on that no problem. As he almost does so there, just rifling it past the net. Dordt scabbers around, back to Espenson. Back to the wing there. Dordt moves around. Dangles around Luke Nessa there. Hanging out near the blue line, tries to get a screen on, but moves out of the way in time for Ben Olsen to get a hand on it. Dordt tries to cycle it back. Back to Espenson on the blue line. Goes through, tries to find an angle for the shot. Luke Nessa gets a stick on it, and what a block there by Harry Ives. Kansas just not getting much of a chance there as Ives moves around, but gets the pucks just stripped of him there. High over the net. Luke Nessa tries to go on as he's just bodied off there. Ives trying again here. He's been excellent on the PK as John Feeney comes around, gets it back out of the Kansas zone. Dordt has to regroup. Dordt just storm swooping in here. Espenson playing more like a forward than a defenseman. He is elite. As Nansen gets the puck back. Vaughn just skates right past the Dordt player, leaving Kansas on a 5-on-3 there, but he recovers. Ben Olsen with this steady glove. He saw that one all the way through. All he had to do was get his glove hand up and get that right down. Kansas wins the faceoff as Blake Hearn tries to recover, but stolen away by Dordt. Dordt just cycling around here, passing on to blue line. Can't quite get a stick on the puck there as Dordt cycles it back to Ben Olsen's left side. Shot, saved by Olsen. He saw that one all the way through. He just goes out, goes for a little stretch and gets his glove hand out, and that puck is going right where he wants. Dordt getting a lot of shots off here, but still making it easy for Ben Olsen is Kansas. As there's a change on the defense there. Kansas loses the puck drop there as Dordt off the post. Is right back into Dordt. Dordt has gotten lots of opportunities here for goals, but can't get anything past Ben Olsen. Blocked there by Bullard. As a penalty expires, what a great PK by Kansas here. Malcolm Johnson tries to bat the puck down, but still gets it right past into the Dordt zone. Dordt centering pass, saved by Ben Olsen. He has been excellent on that last offensive zone by Kansas, or Dordt, I might say, as the entirety of both teams decide to go for a line change here. Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn are heading back onto the Kansas defense, as it looks like they'll be throwing out the top line of Ives, Feeney, and Siddons as the puck comes rattling around here. That'll be an icing, and they'll be right back where they started. Kansas looking to get a lead on the game here. Both teams are tied at 3 apiece. Aiden Siddons with 2 goals tonight, Danny Callaghan with the other. As a shot just bounces right back off into the net. Dordt was once down by 2 goals 4 minutes into the game, but after a goalie change came all the way back down 2 to tie it, comes up with 1 more to take the lead, and Kansas just takes a goal right back, and we are back to being tied. Dordt comes in with the shot there, but Zach Roberts just goes in, but can't seem to get a shot off. As the puck comes rattling around here, that'll be another icing. We're right back to where we started. How many icings have we had from Kansas tonight? This has been a little bit rough, especially in the second period there. Seems like they can't really get any offense going. They just try to kind of take a home run pass to center ice and hope something comes of it.
Yeah, so far this period, it feels like it's only been played in the Jayhawks offensive zone. And like I said, that's a big problem the Jayhawks needed to work on, is getting more time in Dordt's zone to get more shots.
And another icing.
We're back at it.
Oh, boy. Huber, who is a speedster, just tries to go on one more time, try and beat the icing, but nothing really much he could do there. Zach Roberts wearing the C tonight as captain. Kansas tries to go on here, but can't seem to get through it. And it'll be another icing. I'm sure Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt are really enjoying this these last couple of possessions by Kansas here. After a game that hasn't had a lot of stoppages, icing has been one of them, but nothing too crazy. This period, I think we've had more stoppages in play than the other two combined here. Dordt wins the faceoff and goes in for another possession as it goes around here. Blake Hearn comes in to try and retrieve the puck. Ives comes around here, but comes in with an offensive zone here. Moving around here, shot almost trickles over, but can't get a shot off there. Bowerly coming in, centered by. It just can't quite get a shot off there as there's some collisions in front of the net. Johnson to Nessa. Nessa tries to get a shot up onto Aiden Siddons there, but can't find him as Dordt will just curl it back around into their own zone. Almost stolen away there by Danny Callaghan as Callaghan just goes in for a heavy check onto one of the Dordt players. Dordt comes up here. Bit of an offsides, just couldn't quite get back there. Looks like the Dordt player is a bit tangled up, forcing that offsides. We'll be right back onto the blue line for another faceoff. .26 left in the period. Shots are 16-32 Dordt. Dordt has just came from behind and doubled their shots here, which by the way that this game has been going on here, that's no surprise to anybody. Dordt comes around the corner, but Kansas is able to come away with it with a bit of an odd control there as Aiden Siddons just shakes off a hit from one of the large Dordt players. Danny Callaghan coming along as Kansas players aren't happy with the Dordt player that got moved down there. Looks like it was their captain, number 10, Andrew Benson. Some extracurriculars going on after the whistle there. A lot of Kansas players not happy, wanting something a little more. They're having a chat with the referee after that one.
Yeah,
for the first time in what feels like forever, Kansas will be having an O-zone face-off in front of Tim Nansen, the goaltender for Dordt, as Vaughn tries to get around, but Dordt gets it out of their zone. Nice block there by Matthew Lang, who takes an extra hit there after the fact. Dordt comes along there, but corralled up by Lang. Gets it back into their zone. Espenson with the puck, moves it up forward to the neutral zone ice. 2-on-2 here for Dordt as they decide to slow it down a little bit, but coughs up the puck there right back for Matthew Lang. Lang passes it on to Rowan Vaughn. Vaughn moves up into the O-zone. The nice little puck there, and it almost one last poke into the net there as Tim Nansen goes down and gets up a bit gingerly. Kansas needs to come back and do that. Matthew Lang walking a little bit with less pressure on one of his legs. Looks like he took a bit of a hit there, as we'll get a offsides here whistle. We'll be back onto the blue line. Just a bit of a hard little sequence there. Kansas just finally getting some ozone time and not able to make anything of it. Matthew Lang going around and taking a heavy hit and a heavy trip into the boards back there, but nothing much he can do about that except walk that one off. Bowerly takes the face off. Tipped back, and that'll be another offsides. They'll keep moving it up. It looks like they're actually going to be moving the face-off in front of Nansen there, as it looks like John Feeney is going to be the one taking the face-off here for the Jayhawks. Kansas bench getting excited as Dordt wins the face-off and cycles it right back around to the defender. Blake Hearn misplays the puck there, but it'll just be another offsides for Dordt. They'll go back onto the blue line here for another offsides. Tim Nansen, just a bit of a interesting part there. After that little crash into the net, he got up a bit gingerly, but he's been trying to skate around, possibly trying to skate off anything that had been going on there. As Kansas moves it up into the neutral zone, that's John Feeney. Feeney tries to get it around as Dordt takes a swipe at his skates there. Ives with a big hit there. Coughs it up right back, and what a great play by Hearn there to keep it into the Dordt zone and avoid the offsides as it's stripped right back to John Feeney. Hearn with a shot blocked by Dordt into their own corner as almost just a hard play by, looks like that was Blake Bowerly, as Dordt will just toss it into the Jayhawks corner. That's Zach Roberts beating him there. Roberts gives it back to Dordt. Dordt in the corner there trying to cycle through, and a shot ricochets off and doesn't go anywhere near the net as Dordt has to recover back into their own zone. Dordt moves up here past the blue line, takes a shot onto Ben Olsen. Looks like that hit his mask a bit. Could hear that from all the way up here. .12:57 left in the period here. Kansas and Dordt still tied. One of these teams is looking for a win here. Dordt looking for the sweep, and Kansas looking to split the series at one apiece here as they end up winning the face-off, but still passing it right back to Dordt. Shot goes wide past the net as we'll have another stoppage.
Yeah, Jack, the past two periods, there weren't that many stoppages, but we're about 8 minutes into this period, and there have been a lot of stoppages, icings, offsides, into the net. I mean, the Jayhawks and Dordt, they just really haven't been able to spend that much time on the ice.
It's been a bit tough here. Both of these teams play a really physical game, and two excellent teams here, just having all that pretty much just like physicality and real athleticism. Honestly, it's a bit hard. Their bodies are 100% just exhausted from this weekend and are definitely going to need this winter break that's coming up here soon. This will be our last game here at Advent Health Sports Park until January, so stay tuned for those games coming up here. Dordt coming around as Kansas tries to steal the puck back. The Dordt player just slips on the ice as looks like that one just hit Callaghan there as Luke Nessa brings it up forward past the blue line. It's a 3-on-2. It's Nessa, Siddons, and Ives there as a massive hit on Aiden Siddons. That one's a bit rough as we'll have another stoppage here.
Yeah, you were not kidding, Jack. This has been an aggressive game. Just like last night, both teams giving big hits, big checks, you know. It is hockey, so it is a physical game, but wow, this game has been unlike any other.
Absolutely, Gavin. I mean, that hit there, I mean, he's a bit shaken up after that. That was a rough one. I felt that from all the way up here as it looks like we'll actually get a penalty on that here. Wow.
I think this is just what the Jayhawks need. More time in Dordt's zone, you know, the perfect opportunity to set up some plays, get some passing lanes open, get some shooting lanes open, take some shots, and hopefully get some goals.
Absolutely, and it looks like here we'll get on the power play as it'll be Feeney, Bullard, Huber, and then on defense we'll have one Matthew Lang, I guess. Lang moves up forward, tries to get a shot, tries to sneak it behind the back door and can't find anything. Lang with the puck, tries to move it forward as he's crushed at the net. Vaughn to Huber, back to Vaughn, to Lang, back to Feeney. Feeney moves it back to Lang as he tries to circle through and somehow still gets the puck off as they just swing something on there. What a play by the Jayhawks there. It's just very calculated, but it seems like they're getting into the habit of just trying to throw something on the net there, which has seemed to work for both teams. Kansas's 2 goals were a bit odd. Couldn't quite tell that something had happened as Kansas just coughs it up back. And that is one of the worst penalties that you can take right now. I don't really know why that would happen. Just the easiest cross check to the back right in front of the referee. And Hudson Huber is going right to the box, which is the last thing that Kansas is going to want. It's going to be a 4-on-4 for a minute and 1 second, and then Dordt will go back on the power play for 1 minute as well. This is a bit of a puzzling penalty that you want to take. I'm sure Coach McConnell and Coach Pruitt are not happy about that, but for now you're still on 4-on-4 hockey. You're giving yourself a lot more room. We'll see what Kansas can do about this here. As Dordt wins the faceoff, and they'll take it to the blue line. Dordt taking it on through here. Malcolm Johnson goes to recover, but coughs it right back up to Dordt. Dordt recovers in the corner, to pass it down to their defenseman, but it skates right past him as Dordt needs to recover back into their own zone. Covered by Rowan Vaughn there. Malcolm Johnson just shoving him off the puck there. Rowan Vaughn dipsy doodles around him and sends it right back to the Dordt zone. Dordt takes it back up, getting ready. Rowan Vaughn threatening as he just skates right past him. Didn't even seem like that was a threat. Luke Nessa trying to get shoved off, but he does not budge. Vaughn, as it looks like Ben Olsen just sees that one once again all the way through. He lifts up that glove hand. Not much you can do about that. 11 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey, and then we'll go to a whole minute of Dordt power play, and Kansas will be back on the penalty kill. Dordt wins the face-off here. It's Espenson. Tries to throw it on, but recovered again by Dordt. Covered by Zach Roberts, and John Feeney is the Dordt player, but can't seem to do much as Dordt now is on the power play and Kansas is on the penalty kill. As Dordt cycles it around once more, they're on a 5-on-4. And he just can't quite get it to the Dordt player that they are intending for. It has to cycle it all the way through. Surprised that wasn't called as offsides. Tries to go for the wraparound, but nobody there. As Kansas will just shoot it down with 30 seconds left to go in the penalty kill. Recovered by Espenson. Moves on through. We have George Bullard, Matthew Lang, Zach Roberts, and Blake Hearn. Just almost a backhand there by Espenson. Espenson deciding to play offense there. Roberts going around putting the pressure on it as Blake Hearn goes through, and he'll just clear that puck out. And that'll do it for the Dordt power play. Nothing they could do about that after what was a tough mistake to make for the Jayhawks. They come out here unscathed, but no goal for them as well. George Bullard comes around to challenge for the puck here. Tries to get a body off, but not much you can do about that. Lang shoots it through right back around and back up for the Dordt players. Lang tries to pressure him once more, but nothing you can do about that. Dordt comes around here, wide of the net. Circles it around once more to the corner. Kansas goes in for a poke check there to try and get it out of his control, and they succeed here. That's Rowan Vaughn in 21. Kansas is leading points and scorer. Vaughn tries to go around and move something off, but a kick pass out to the corner. Decides to switch spots here as it's Malcolm Johnson and Luke Nessa on defense. But an insane little poke check there, send it right back to the Dordt zone. Dordt comes around. Intercepted pass there, but recovered. And just an odd bounce there. Tries to get a shot off, can't do anything. Kansas coughs it back up, but blocked off the skate. If it looked like Matthew Lang there, or Callaghan, as he goes for the poke and just lets it move on through here. Dordt passes back around to the corner. Starts moving up here. Dordt crosses the blue line. Bit of a trip up there for, looks like Rowan Vaughn. As that one fan once said, be ready. Both Kansas and Dordt have had lots of opportunities if they just had a man kind of in the middle of the net there, and neither team is able to get a man on them. Callaghan moves it around on the corner there behind the net of Nansen there. Dordt just skates around, starts gliding through the neutral zone, comes up, just speeding through. Nobody there to meet him, but nobody, or it looks more like Zach Roberts is just coming in trying to get that through there as Kansas waits in the middle there to get the man off. Blake Hearn trying to play the forward as Aiden Siddons is coming through to assist him out. Siddons with a big hit as Bowerly tries to go in for a check. It is recovered by Harry Ives. Ives moving through trying to get a pass there, which just ends up being a icing, which didn't, or not quite an icing, but I think he thought it was going to be as we heard a big loud scream. Somebody was not happy about that. Dordt coming around with the angle, tries to get it on through to somebody else on the opposite side, but nobody is there. Bowerly comes on through. Feeney comes in, loses the puck, but gets right back. That's right back to Bowerly. What a shot! Goes high glove side, but Nansen is there. He hasn't really been tested in a little while here, but he's showing that he's still on point and he's ready for anything heading towards him. Jayhawks win the faceoff here. He gets a shot off onto the right of Nansen there. Dordt starts moving on forward. Feeney tries to poke the puck away but can't do anything. They are going to call a penalty on that there. That is, looks like that was going to be called for slashing. And the Jayhawks are going right back to the penalty kill, which they were successful last time, but with 5 minutes to go and a Dordt team that wants to desperately get out with this game with a win, that's not what you want to do this late into the game. Face-off one, back to Espenson. Espenson dangles around, goes for a shot. Just right off the blocker there. Dordt comes around, tries for a hard angle, and Ben Olsen sees that one all the way through. And he grabs on that. Looks like that was Luke Nessa. 2 minutes for slashing. Minute 49 left on that penalty kill for the Jayhawks. Score is tied 3 apiece. Shots are 18-36. Dordt leading. Dordt comes around to Espenson, to Olsen's left side. Looking for an angle or some kind of passing lane. Comes around for a shot. Olsen stands tall, block. As Hearn comes sliding around, blocking that wraparound there. Espenson looking, passes it right back. Roberts trying to block the screen there as it's moved on right by. As Matthew Lang comes around, and a shot, blocker, save. Coming around there waiting, trying to scoot one past them through a hole in the post. Shot blocked there by Matthew Lang. Lang hurting from that shot. All the way around and just completely missed on that. Olsen was way so ready for that. He moved all the way over. Not much he can do about that. Dordt still with the puck. Shot blocked by one of the Dordt defenders. Dordt comes around looking for the wraparound, but still can't get it, so decides to hold on to it. Loses the puck in front. What an excellent PK from the Jayhawks here as the puck goes wide of the net. Dordt still holding on, looking for a lane. goes for a shot from Espenson, but hits a defender on the way and can't do anything. And Dordt loses the puck, and these teams will get a much-needed change here as Espenson still stays on the ice, met by John Feeney. Tries to get picked by Bowerly, but nothing there. Dordt cycling in here, and a block there, and that heads right over the line, and Dort's going to have to regroup. Exits right in time, and Malcolm Johnson stick just goes flying there as Blake Bowerly comes in, and he'll wait for his Jayhawk players. Bowerly just shoots it around to the corner where it looks like Feeney was there. Ives gets back around and coughs off the puck for Dordt. Dordt coming up here. Malcolm Johnson with his stick back, pokes the puck away, and another interception there. It looks like that was John Feeney. And wow, Tim Nansen just comes sprawling out, ready for that puck, and he was not going to take any chances there of misplaying the puck or letting anything come up to chance. But with 3:31 left in the period, finally back at 5-on-5 hockey, it's going to be incredibly important for the Jayhawks to keep the momentum going here and get a goal off as they win the faceoff and move it around to the corner. Dordt moving on through. And what a great stick poke by Malcolm Johnson. Gets the puck out. Nothing they can do there. Dordt just decides to dump it on through and leave it to Ben Olsen. Gives it right back to Dordt, but Kansas coughs it up and gets it right back. What a play by Aiden Siddons there. And just met by the pad there. Puck out. Nessa with the shot. Set blocked. And it is out of the Dordt zone. Nothing happening there. Just what an incredible sequence there. Kansas on an odd man rush and nothing they can do. As Huber comes on. Can't get the rebound. Still in the corner there. Aiden Siddons with a big hit there. As Dordt, it's a one-on-one with Zach Roberts. Tries to dangle around him. Go for an odd angle save there. It goes in. Dordt scores on just an odd shot that just squeaked on through to Olsen. Jayhawks are not too happy about that one. Dordt is ecstatic with 2:29 left in the game here. Jayhawks are going to take their timeout and try to regroup.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one, Jack. I thought that Olsen got it, but I guess not. I guess it snuck right past him.
Olsen patting his chest, saying that one's on me. He's hanging his head, not too happy about letting that one squeak past. A tough one to give up with 2:29 left in the game, but also not quite much you can do about that one. Jayhawks are going to take their timeout and talk this one through, see what they can do to even it up, take this one to overtime, or try something different.
Yeah, I keep saying it. The Jayhawks, they need to use this as an opportunity to set up, get some passing lanes in Dordt's zone, and just get some shots on the goal. That's really what they need right now, just keeping it out of our zone and getting shots on the net. That's what really all you can do at this time.
Absolutely. Heading out to the face-off here is Rowan Vaughn, Matthew Lang, and George Bullard on defense. It's back to Zach Roberts and Blake Hearn, who have been excellent this game. Jayhawks lose the face-off as Dordt corrals it back into their own end. Takes a bounce pass off, and it's recovered by the Jayhawks. It's Vaughn and Bullard. Vaughn goes in with a crazy shot as Nansen just getting completely in position there. And he saves that one for Dordt. He's been excellent this game since he's been in. What a excellent choice by Tyler Morgan there. Just a tough start for Isaiah Van Noord to give up those 2 goals and take the pole, but Dordt has crawled all the way back from that deficit, and they are currently leading 4-3 against the Jayhawks. So lose that there, and Dordt comes up away. Vaughn tries to recover it, but Hearn shoots it on back through. Jayhawks have to recover for the offsides. Dordt shoots it on down, and Blake Hearn will recover it for the icing. 2 minutes left in the game here. Shots are 21-38. Dordt has just been shelling Ben Olsen all night. He's been definitely tested here. Looks like Ben Olsen is going to head to the bench here to give the Jayhawks an extra attacker with 2 minutes left. I think it's an excellent decision here. We'll have Feeney, Huber, Callaghan, and we'll have Nessa and Hearn, and the extra attacker is going to be Aiden Siddons here looking to get his hat trick. Kansas loses it. Danny Callaghan pokes it on through this extra attacker, and the Jayhawks lose it at the blue line. They're going to try to recover and set something up here. Jayhawks trying to be extra careful with the net empty. Huber moves it on through, dangles it on. Tries to get a nice little backhand through the net there, but can't seem to find anything as Callaghan recovers a puck and tries to get it center. Nothing comes of that, no man there. And the Dordt will score to make it 5-3 and crush any chance of the Jayhawks trying to come back. A minute 22 left in the game as a tough end to this game. The Jayhawks had been excellent for most of it, but couldn't seem to finish it out here. Those two odd goals, lots of great chances here, but Tim Nansen has just been standing tall all night for Dordt. Jayhawks win the faceoff here that's Matthew Lang. Lang moves it on through onto the corner as it circles around the net. Met by Zach Roberts, and Matthew Lang will take it back to Malcolm Johnson. Johnson shoots it on through behind the net. As it squeaks by Roberts here. That's George Bullard. M. Jowie to Roberts. Circles around again. Dordt's in control. 48 seconds left in the period as it'll just go on right past, and Jayhawks will take the icing. Tough loss for the Jayhawks to give up here as it's about 3-5. Not really much you can do if you're the Jayhawks. They'll move down to 11-7 in case anything, or in the event that nothing crazy happens here, as Ben Olsen will leave the net again and give the Jayhawks an extra attacker, or defender it seems. That's Luke Nessa. Jayhawks. Rowan Vaughn tries to get control of the puck. Roberts tries to get on with the big stretch from Henson. Nessa tries to go on through. Nothing there. And the puck will miss the net there as Malcolm Johnson will go and recover for the icing. Here at Avon Health Sports Park, it's currently 6:25, 24 seconds left in the period here. The next time that the Kansas Jayhawks will be back here is against St. Louis University on February 6th to February 7th. Haha, 6-7. We'll move on through as Zach Roberts recovers onto the puck. 13 seconds left in the period. With only 4 games left in the schedule, the Jayhawks are going to really need a push here to make it on through to regionals, as Dordt will just skate this one out here, as the Kansas Jayhawks will get swept by the Dordt defenders, and a 3-5 loss here by the Kansas Jayhawks. Not really much you could do about that. A tough loss for the Jayhawks. With only 4 games left in the season, there's not much that Kansas can do. They're in control of their own destiny here, as one of my favorite things in sports here. We'll have our handshake at the end of the series. Dordt is an excellent team. They're going to move on to the season, and they'll be 19-1. What an incredible team. There's a reason why they're ranked number 10.
Yeah, I agree, Jack. I think that, again, the story of this game has been all about possession. The Jayhawks, they started off strong, keeping it relatively equal with shots and time in Dordt's end, but as each period went on, shots went in. There were some weird goals, but at the end of the day, the Dordt defenders, they were able to put it away.
Absolutely. We'll see you back here at Avon Sports Park on February 6th and February 7th for Kansas against St. Louis University. We'll end it off here in a circle of prayer between both teams. An excellent tradition for this Dordt team. We'll see you next time. This is